Hello, this is Required Fields, and I'm going to do another installment of my What's Been Spinning series. It's been a short time since I did my last one, but thought I'd just do another round of it and discuss more of the albums I've been spinning as of late. I'm going to start off my video here with a thrash metal band called Cyclone, and this is their 1990 album Inferior to None. Now, in my last video I discussed a Belgian thrash metal band called Target. Now, this band Cyclone is also from Belgium, and they also released two albums. In 1986 they released their debut album Brutal Destruction, and then it took them 4 years to release a follow-up album which was titled Inferior to None, and they broke up after that. They reformed actually last year. I have no idea if they're just doing some, if they're just going to do some live shows, or if they actually intend to record new material. I'll have to wait and see. But Inferior to None is an enjoyable thrash metal album in the Bay Area thrash mold. Even though they're from Belgium, it has that Bay Area kind of vibe to it. And but yeah, it's an enjoyable thrash metal album. Hard to come by, but with their reunion, who knows, it might actually end up re-releasing the album. It's been out of print for a long time, but I actually was fortunate to score a copy last year. Cost a lot of money, but I was glad to do it. It's an enjoyable thrash metal release. And next up is Testament, and this is their album Titans of Creation. I mean, no thrash metal fan needs an introduction to Testament, as they are one of the most recognized bands of the genre. And this is their newest release. It's Testament is one of my favorite bands of all time. It's an enjoyable album. I enjoy it more than the previous album, Brotherhood of the Snake. But anyways, yes, this album is enjoyable release. I'd say my favorite tracks on it are probably World War III is a good one, and Dream Deceiver is a good one as well, and I like the track Symptoms as well. But yes, this is the new release from Testament. It just came out last month, and it's another enjoyable release in their catalog. I recommend it if you like their music. It's another really good album in their catalog. I've been listening to it several times since I got it last month so far. And next up is a band called Hypoxia, and this is their album Despondent to Death, which was released a few years ago. Now, I discussed Hypoxia in my favorite albums of 2019 video. They released their sophomore release, Abhorrent Disease. I had never actually checked out the debut Despondent to Death, so I went out and got myself a copy of that earlier this year, and it's a death metal album. Also, it's in the same mold as the sophomore release. If you like one, you like the other, I would say. But yes, the band actually, in case you didn't catch my best songs, my best albums of 2019 video, it's a very old school style death metal release, and the vocalist is Mike from Monstrosity. He's also the vocalist for this band as well. Anyways, yes, that's Hypoxia and their debut release, Despondent Death. And next up is Vader, and this is their brand new release. Just came out earlier this month. It's called Solitude and Madness. Vader actually is one of the most recognized death metal bands. They're from now, and they actually have been around probably longer than almost any other death metal band. They formed all the way back in 1983, and although they were said to have been more of a traditional metal band in the vein of Iron Maiden and Judas Priest when they first formed. However, they never recorded anything in that style. When it was on Metal Archives, it doesn't list anything from that era. So I have no idea what songs of theirs, if any, really do exist, or have been available in any way to the general public, or metal listening public, on any level. So, but yeah, they said to have become more of a thrash band in the late 80s, but they didn't release, even though they formed back in the early 1980s, they didn't release an album until 1992, and they released their debut album, The Ultimate Incantation. But Solitude and Madness is their new release, came out earlier this month. Very fast-paced death metal release. The songs are are all quite fast, and they songs are quite fast on it, and it's quick, straight to the point. Most of the tracks don't even. It has 11 tracks, and it's only about a half hour in length, and the average track is not even 3 minutes. In fact, the third track, Despair, is only 1 minute and 18 seconds. So, very fast-paced release, and it's another enjoyable release from Vader. It's their newest one, Solitude and Madness, from a very long-running band. Of course, like I said, it's Vader. All their studio albums are death metal, but even though they didn't start out that way apparently, but every album they've released is death metal. You catch my drift, and this is a enjoyable, fast-paced death metal release. And finishing off this video, this is Crimson Glory of Transcendence. And this was the second Crimson Glory album, released in 1988, most people seem to consider it to be their best work. I'm kind of torn between that and the self-titled debut, which was released in 1986. My favorite tracks on it would be Lady of Winter, the opening track, Red Sharks, which is probably the most vicious track on the album, and also Mask of the Red Death, and In Dark Places are also really enjoyable tracks. Midnight, the vocalist, gives an excellent vocal performance throughout this album. Although there's one thing I have to say, it does get ballad heavy towards the end. The last 4 tracks on it are ballads. I mean, the vocals on these tracks are excellent. I think they could have actually added one more song. It was more in the vein of the faster tracks, like Mask of the Red Death or something like that. They could have added one of those, especially when it gets to 2 ballads in a row at one point. I mean, not that they're bad ballads or anything, but that's one thing that would have changed. And then after this, they released one more album with Midnight, but they were signed to a major label, and they kind of talked them into going into more commercial direction, and they ended up breaking up after that. They reformed with a new vocalist in later years, but that's actually okay. What they didn't do any more releases with Midnight at the helm, and they never will again, as Midnight passed away in the 2000s. But anyways, yes, that's Crimson Glory of Transcendence, a great U.S. power metal release. Great album, definitely worth getting if you don't have it already. And anyways, it's more of the albums I've been spinning as of late. Thank you for watching this video. This is Required Fields signing off, and goodbye.